questions.
So,
Since I can see.
there are general questions about what your job is as press secretary. So my first question is, what does your job as press secretary entail?
That is a very good question, Skye. So I am, as the press secretary, I am the president's top spokesperson. And it is a really important job, right? It's important because whatever the president wants to get out there to the American people or to the world, I am the person that, one of the people, but the top person obviously, that gets to go out there either on TV or in a press briefing room and tell that story or tell the American people, here are the things that the president wants to do about the economy or student loans or anything that is incredibly important to Americans and American families as well. So that is my top priority, making sure that I am communicating directly to the American people through reporters, right? The reporters are in the room and they're reporting every day on what our platform is, what we're doing, what our messaging is of the day, which is so important. And so that is my job as the White House press secretary. I'm the 35th White House press secretary, so there's been 34 before me. And it is incredibly important because the American people expect us to be truthful, to be honest, to share exactly what we believe is important on their and what we're doing on their behalf. So it's an important job. And in about, 30 minutes or less, I'm going to go out to the podium and I'm going to do a White House press briefing. And there's about 40 reporters in the room. They'll ask me questions. I'll take their questions, and it'll be about an array of topics, an array of issues, whatever it is that they think is important to write about and to talk about. And they want to communicate themselves to the American people. So it's an important job. It's an important job to be the voice of the president when he is not out there speaking, or when he needs someone to kind of speak a little bit more about or take questions about what's happening in this administration on behalf of the American people.
Yes, ma'am. So did you ever think of becoming press secretary when you were younger? Why or why not?
It's very interesting. I don't think I've ever really thought about it when I was younger because, I never saw anybody who looked like me who had this job. And so I think it was harder to envision myself in the job when I was younger. And it's really interesting now, I think because of social media, I think because of the historic nature of me being in this role, I get a lot of young people who come up to me and say that they want to be White House press secretary. So I hope by being here, by representing, we always like to say representation matters, that I will inspire young people like yourself and others to be one day a press secretary. And I wish I had that when I was your age or even younger, to have been inspired, I should say, to be at the podium and to be the White House press secretary and to speak on behalf of the President of the United States.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Could I ask one final question?
Sure, one final question. Go for it.
Yes. So what aspect do you like the most about being press secretary?
I think this right here, talking to young people, hopefully again inspiring them to go into this work that we do. And it's really important. It's very, very important, especially in the time that we're in, in the very complicated times that we're in politically, not just here in this country, but globally. But I hope I continue to inspire young people. And that is the best part. When I get a young person who comes up to me and says, I want to be a White House press secretary, that's makes my day. I had last year, one of the Secret Service guys has a niece who last year I believe for Black History Month, she did a book report on me, or a report on me, and she dressed like me and did and performed, I guess, the White House press secretary role in front of her class, and he sent me the video of it. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that this is what was happening. And I think she was 8 years old in her classroom. Because again, I didn't know anything about White House press secretary at that age. And it really warmed my heart. And I got to meet her. She came to the White House. I invited her to come to the White House so I could meet her. And so she came a couple months ago. And it was really lovely to meet her and to know that I inspired her to do this report on me for Black History Month. and that one day she is going to be White House. I think she'll be White House press secretary. And it was so much fun because she went to the podium and she took a question. We were just playing around. There was no reporters in the room, and she was so good. She was really, really good, and she had such confidence in herself and such pride. And that is what matters. That is what matters with everything going on in the world. Seeing something like that, meeting a young person like that who is totally excited and potentially wants to do what I'm doing every day at the podium is a really bright light in a very, very busy, hectic day.
Yes, ma'am. That was all my questions. Thank you so much for making time.
No problem.
Yes,
My
thank you.
pleasure.
Thanks
This
so
is
much.
the best
Could
part
we
of the
get a
job.
picture?
Absolutely. Absolutely.